at 888-HEIS-12 or visit heischimney.com.
Good morning, America. Breaking news. The Tampa serial killer suspected of striking again. Police on the scene of a deadly shooting just blocks away from where 3 others were killed. This person of interest still on the loose. Police now warning people to stay indoors.
Doubling down.
I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her.
Overnight, Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore going after the 5th woman, now accusing him of sexual misconduct.
Mr. Moore reached over and began groping me,
saying he sexually assaulted her when she was just 16. Now calls growing for him to drop out of the race, and the troubling news stories emerging from his hometown this morning.
Clinton bombshell. Attorney General Jeff Sessions asked prosecutors to examine the Clinton Foundation and Hillary Clinton's emails. Is he bowing to improper pressure from the president to investigate his political opponent?
Good to be alive right about now.
And good to be alive. The 25-year-old surfer punching a shark right in the face to make an escape. Now telling his story. The famous surfer, he says, inspires the move.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And good morning, America. Welcome back to Robin and Michael. Boy, it is so clear there is still so much more work to do to recover from these hurricanes.
The road to recovery is a long road. The wonderful people that I met in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico are so grateful to their fellow Americans for not forgetting about them, and they hope that the help will continue.
And Houston's the same way. A lot of people, it looks okay from the outside, but when you really take a look inside, there's a lot more work to be done.
A lot of news breaking overnight. Both Roy Moore, Jeff Sessions, Donald Trump Jr., all in the hot seat in political news today. We'll get to that in a little bit.
But before we do, we want to get to some breaking news out of Tampa. The Tampa serial killer suspected of attacking again. You're looking live at the scene of helicopter shot over that area where police are warning people to stay inside and not go to school or work. Let's go right to ABC's Victor Oquendo in Florida with the latest. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Michael. The call came into police just before 5 a.m. Reports of shots fired. When they arrived, they found a man shot to death in the middle of the street, just blocks away from where the other murders happened, and there is still no suspect. This morning, the Tampa serial killer may have struck again.
We're also asking people as they get up to stay in their houses in this immediate area, please. Whether you're going to school, whether you're going to work.
Police say they found a body just a few hours ago, a possible 4th victim of the serial killer who murdered 3 people over the span of 10 days in Seminole Heights. Last month, Tampa's mayor vowed to find this person who has terrorized this neighborhood and get him off the streets.
We're not leaving. We are in the hunting mode.
But all police have to go on is this surveillance video showing a person of interest in the area the night of the first shooting.
I suspect that somebody in the neighborhood knows who this is, but doesn't realize that that may be the killer.
3 people, Benjamin Mitchell, Monica Hoffa, and Anthony Naiboa, gunned down in 10 days within a half mile of each other. Neighbors on edge and prepared for the worst.
We feel like we're in prison right now.
It's scary.
Bus stops in the area are suspended for the time being. Many streets are shut down as well. Police right now going door to door to interview witnesses. We'll be following this one all day. Michael?
All right, thank you, Victor. Scary situation for that neighborhood in Tampa.
It really is, Michael. Now to those calls growing for Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore to drop out of the race as a 5th woman comes forward accusing him of sexual misconduct, saying he assaulted her when she was a teenager. Our chief national correspondent Tom Yamas is on Capitol Hill with that story and Moore's response. Good morning, Tom.
Robin, good morning to you. The allegations against Roy Moore are growing, with more reports that he was allegedly very well known at the local mall for pursuing teenage girls when he was in his 30s. And a new woman has come forward, as you mentioned, who claims Moore sexually assaulted her when she was only 16 years old. We do want to warn our viewers, her story is graphic, but it's one she says she's willing to tell under oath.
Mr. Moore attacked me when I was a child. I did nothing to deserve this sexual attack.
Beverly Young Nelson says in 1977, she was a 16-year-old high school student working part-time at a restaurant where Senate candidate Roy Moore, then a local prosecutor, was a regular customer. One cold night, he offered her a ride home.
I trusted Mr. Moore because he was the district attorney. I thought that he was simply doing something nice by offering to drive me home.
But instead, Nelson says Moore drove her to a dumpster behind the restaurant.
Mr. Moore reached over and began groping me, him putting his hands on my breast. I tried to open my car door to leave, but he reached over and he locked it so I could not get out. I tried fighting him off while yelling at him to stop. But instead of stopping, he began squeezing my neck, attempting to force my head onto his crotch.
Overnight, Moore denying the accusations.
And I can tell you without hesitation, this is absolutely false. I never did what she said I did. I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her. I don't even know where the restaurant is or was.
But Nelson says she has proof of Moore's flirty behavior, her yearbook. She says Moore wrote, "To a sweeter, more beautiful girl, I could say Merry Christmas," and signed it, "Love Roy Moore, DA."
When he was at the restaurant, he would speak to me and would sometimes pull the ends of my long hair.
Back in Washington, a number of Republicans in the U.S. Senate have heard enough. Senator John Cornyn of Texas watched the latest accuser's news conference. What were your thoughts?
Well, they're very disturbing. They're very disturbing. That's why I believe that it was appropriate for me to withdraw my endorsement.
11 Republican senators are calling for Moore to drop out of the race. 4 Republican senators have rescinded their endorsements, and 28 have said he should step aside if the allegations are true.
I believe the women. I think he should step aside.
If you win, you lose, because you're coming to a body where people are already calling for your expulsion.
And this morning, there are new reports in both the New Yorker magazine and the news website Alabama.com, quoting residents in Moore's hometown that it was a well-known secret that he would go to the mall to pursue teenage girls. One of those residents is quoted and named. I want to put that quote on the screen now. That resident saying he would go and flirt with all the young girls. It seems like every Friday or Saturday night, you'd see him walking around the mall like the kids did. Now, for his part, Roy Moore has denied all those allegations of sexual misconduct.
The allegations are piling up. Tom Yamas, thanks very much. Roy Moore is running to fill the seat that had been held by Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and he'll be on the hot seat on Capitol Hill today after revelations overnight that he's asked Justice Department prosecutors to examine the Clinton Foundation and Hillary Clinton's emails, despite promises to recuse himself from those matters. ABC senior congressional correspondent Mary Bruce has the latest. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, for weeks, the president has been ramping up the pressure, calling for the Justice Department to look into Hillary Clinton. And this morning, as the Attorney General heads to the Hill, the department is now weighing a new investigation. As President Trump returns from a marathon trip in Asia,
made a lot of friends at the highest level.
He's being greeted with a new controversy. Attorney General Jeff Sessions authorizing the Justice Department to consider a special counsel to look into allegations regarding Trump's former rival, Hillary Clinton. In a letter to the House Judiciary Committee, the Justice Department suggests prosecutors would examine allegations that donations to the Clinton Foundation influenced a decision by the Obama administration to allow a Russian agency to buy the Nuclear One company. Writing, prosecutors will make recommendations as to whether any matters not currently under investigation should be opened, and whether any matters merit the appointment of a special counsel. But after his involvement in the Trump campaign,
Donald, welcome to my hometown.
Sessions pledged to steer clear of Clinton-related investigations.
I believe the proper thing for me to do would be to recuse myself from any questions involving those kind of investigations that involve Secretary Clinton that were raised during the campaign. Or could be otherwise connected to it.
That wasn't the outcome the president was hoping for.
If I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation.
Before departing for his trip to Asia,
they should be looking at the Democrats. They should be looking at Podesta and all of that dishonesty. They should be looking at a lot of things. And a lot of people are disappointed in the Justice Department, including me.
Now, critics are already sounding the alarm. The top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee tweeting, if the AG bends to pressure from President Trump and his allies and appoints a special counsel to investigate Trump's vanquished rival, it could spell the end of the DOJ as an independent institution. Now, guys, Sessions is set to testify on the Hill later this morning, and you can be sure he's going to face some harsh questions.
Yeah, that is going to be some hearing today. Mary, thanks very much.
I bet it will. More now on that revelation. Donald Trump Jr. exchanged private Twitter messages with WikiLeaks during the presidential campaign. Our senior justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, has more. joins us from Washington. Good morning, Pierre.
Robin, good morning. That's right. Today, new allegations that Trump's son, Don Jr., was in contact with not just the Russians, but another adversary against Hillary Clinton, WikiLeaks. New word this morning that Donald Trump Jr. was directly communicating with WikiLeaks. Communication that apparently had direct cause and effect. On October 12th, in the final stretch of the campaign, WikiLeaks wrote Don Jr. saying, "Great to see you and your dad talking about our publications." WikiLeaks encouraged Trump to tell his father to mention their link in his tweets. 15 minutes later, then candidate Donald Trump tweets, "Very little pickup by the dishonest media of incredible information provided by WikiLeaks. So dishonest. Rigged system." Within 2 days, Don Jr. tweeted out the link. Throughout the election, Donald Trump repeatedly made known his fondness for WikiLeaks, which released a spate of damaging emails to his opponent in the presidential race, Hillary Clinton.
We have to go back to WikiLeaks. Oh, WikiLeaks.
But WikiLeaks had been identified by the intelligence community as being a surrogate for the Russian government, publishing damaging information hacked by the Kremlin, stolen from the DNC and Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. This from the current Trump-appointed CIA director.
It's time to call out WikiLeaks for what it really is: a non-state hostile intelligence service often abetted by state actors like Russia.
Donald Trump Jr.'s exchanges began in September of last year during the final stretch of the campaign. WikiLeaks contacting the son, asking him about an anti-Trump website which was about to be launched. Don Jr. responded by informing the campaign's leadership, including Steve Bannon, Kellyanne Conway, and son-in-law Jared Kushner. The contact continued through Election Day, with WikiLeaks writing Don Jr. saying, "If your father loses, we think it's more interesting if he does not concede and spends time challenging the media." Don Jr. did not respond to that message.
Don Jr. not only expressed a willingness to accept the help of the Russian government in that meeting at Trump Tower, but here you have him in communication privately, secretly with WikiLeaks.
Don Jr. and his attorney downplayed the WikiLeaks revelation. Don Jr. tweeting last night, "Here's the entire chain of messages with WikiLeaks with my whopping 3 responses." Responses, he says, selectively leaked by Congress. George?
Okay, Pierre, thanks very much. A lot to talk about now with our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. And Dan, let's start out with that WikiLeaks story right there. Unlikely that sending messages is illegal in any way, but this is now the second time that we know that Don Jr. is open to receiving information connected to the Russians, and the first time that President Trump may have acted on it.
That's right. The fact that President Trump tweeted 15 minutes later is what looks really bad here, though. As a legal matter, we've talked about this before, collusion, not a crime per se. They'd have to demonstrate that there was some involvement, aiding, abetting in the hacking or some conspiracy to violate a crime, to commit a crime.
So yeah, on the collusion, no, but we know there have been previous denials of any contacts with the Russians. Let's talk about Jeff Sessions as well right now. You can read the letter that he wrote as making it unlikely that there's going to be a special counsel at the end of the day here. But there's a real question of whether he should be directing prosecutors to do anything related to Hillary Clinton.
I think this is a direct violation of what he promised the Senate he wouldn't do. And we played a piece there before. We heard a soundbite from him, but he was actually even more definitive in a response to Senator Grassley. Senator Grassley said to him, "To be very clear, you intend to recuse yourself from both the Clinton email investigation and any matters involving the Clinton Foundation, if there are any." Sessions responded, "Yes."
Absolutely clear, right?
This is about the Clinton Foundation. So this seems to me that he cannot both keep his promise to the Senate and be involved in this in any way.
Meantime, these allegations continue to pile up against Roy Moore down in Alabama. It appears to be some political trouble for him. Any legal vulnerability?
There would have been back then. What was alleged to have happened a long time ago could have been a crime back then, but statute of limitations has expired. As we've talked about, Cosby, Weinstein, etc., you'd need some newer allegation for there to be a legal issue.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much.
All right, George. And now to new fallout from a tense exchange caught on camera. A Dallas lawyer has been fired after getting into an argument with her Uber driver, who says she threatened him, hit him, even accused him of kidnapping her. ABC's Lindsay Janis is here with that story. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. The Uber driver made an audio recording of that ugly standoff, posting it on his Facebook page shortly after his passenger, that Dallas prosecutor, losing her job that she held for 6 years.
Oh my God, you're an idiot. You're a legitimate.
You're listening to the argument that led to the firing of one of Dallas County's assistant district attorneys.
I'm asking you politely to please step out of my vehicle.
No, because now I'm pissed the off.
Uber driver Sean Platt says he was driving Texas lawyer Jody Warner home from this bar Friday night when she became upset about directions and began threatening him.
You're so stupid. I want the cops to come so that they can you up.
She kept saying she was assistant DA. Said, who are they going to believe, you or me? So I said, you know what, you're kind of right. So I took out my phone and I recorded it.
He says he pulled over and asked her to get out of the car. When she refused, he called the police.
She actually hit me. It was not how I expected my night to go. Ma'am, please.
No, man, please. Dude, everything's being recorded. I'm an assistant district attorney, so shut the up. I think this might be kidnapping right now, actually.
When the cops arrived, Platt says he declined to press charges.
I'm used to dealing with drunk passengers on a consistent basis. I forgive her.
But Warner's employer, not so forgiving. The DA's office firing her late Monday, in a statement writing, her behavior is contrary to this office's core principle of integrity.
And I'm sorry that it cost her her job. That was not my intent. But you don't treat people that way.
Overnight, Warner denying she ever hit Platt, but expressing regret and calling her behavior unacceptable. Telling ABC News, I cringe whenever I hear or think about the things that I said that night. Adding, the audio doesn't tell you that I was in a situation that made me feel very uncomfortable.
The driver, Sean Platt, tells us he wants people to leave her alone now. He says Warner has paid the price for her actions. Robin?
Wow. All right, Lindsay, thank you very much. And good thing that he recorded that.
Yeah, good for him to do that. And also this morning, President Trump is revealing he personally asked China's president to help resolve that case of 3 UCLA basketball players who are under house arrest accused of shoplifting. Adrienne Bankert is here with new details. And good morning, Adrienne.
Good morning to you, and good morning to you all. Now, this is the deal. The White House does confirm, in addition to discussing North Korea and trade, as well as other state business, President Trump did ask China's President Xi Jinping to help in the case of Cody Riley, Jalen Hill, and LiAngelo Ball, all arrested on shoplifting charges. The 3 allegedly seen on surveillance video stealing sunglasses from a Louis Vuitton store. The LA Times reports they may have shoplifted from as many as 3 stores at the mall while the team was in China for a tournament. The players have been asked to stay at their hotel awaiting legal proceedings. LiAngelo Ball's older brother, LA Lakers highly publicized point guard Lonzo Ball, saying he hopes President Trump can help and everything works out. Some sources say the charges have already been reduced and that China's president told Trump he would ensure the players are treated fairly. Michael.
All right, thank you, Adrienne.
No
Keep
problem.
our eye on that.
Let's go back to Ginger right now. There's a deadly storm in the northwest.
At least 1 woman is dead, 5 people injured. This is in Washington state. Trees went into cars, they went onto homes, and almost 200,000 customers without power at the peak of the storm. Gusts sending those rough waves up to 31 feet, that ferry spinning out of control. There's another storm I'm going to have to tell you about in just a bit coming up. But first, we've got to get to your Tuesday trivia, brought to you by Walgreens.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Thanks for giving Leanne the strength to outrun her brother. Thanks for giving Victor the energy to be the rowdiest fan. And Joseph, the ability to see monsters. When you choose Walgreens, you choose to make a difference. Like how every vitamin and flu shot you get at Walgreens helps give life-changing vitamins and vaccines to children in need around the world and here at home. So really,
Happy Thanksgiving!
Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
Today is once again going to be unseasonably cool. Temperatures will rise from out of the upper 30s to lower 40s to a high today around 50 degrees. 2-3 o'clock today, a partly sunny sky. Now, we could see a little brief shower coming through early Thursday, but your next chance of rain and where we're going to notice the difference is Friday into Saturday. Highs from the 50s to around 60 degrees Saturday. That rain will come during the afternoon hours on Saturday, so not probably going to impact most of your activities, but cold and blustery Sunday.
That next storm is going to bring snow to the Sierra, 1 to 3 feet, and get some of the rain going out there. But that's also going to potentially affect our next weekend. So I'm going to detail that coming up as everybody gets ready to holiday travel.
You didn't say inches, you said feet.
Yeah, in the Sierra.
You heard that
okay.
right.
All right.
Thank you, Ginger.
Sure.
Coming up, major new charges and new defendants in that Penn State hazing case after the FBI says they recovered deleted video revealing freshman pledge Tim Piazza had 18 drinks served to him in less than 90 minutes.
And our exclusive with the father and daughter targeted in a kidnapping plot. We'll tell you what police found in the suspect's car.
Everyone wants a healthy white smile, but the fact is, just brushing your